All right, beyond matters already raised in the charge conference, any objection to the charge as read from the state?
None, Your Honor.
From Travis McMichael.
Just renewing our previous objections, Your Honor.
Gregory McMichael.
Yes, just renewing the previous objections and exceptions, excuse me, which include the reasonable doubt charge, the one sentence, and then later in the charge, the last sentence of the paragraph concerning the synonymous terms. In his presence and within his immediate knowledge, we accepted to a private person may not act on the unsupported statements of others alone. And then the entire next paragraph concerning contemporaneity of the offense and the actions of the person making the arrest. And I believe the court has already indicated that the arguments made by email on Saturday, November 20th, I believe it was, will be put into the record in support of those exceptions.
Yeah, I'm going to do that with a notice of filing. For Mr. Bryan.
On behalf of Mr. Bryan, we renew the objections to the charge and exceptions made thereto. And although I don't think it's necessary, we will also renew the many motions for mistrial that were made during the trial of the case.
All right, let's go ahead and check the evidence then. It is this court's practice with firearms not to send out the live ammunition or the weapon itself, and I also don't send out the videos. Normally these days, jurors don't have the ability to play the videos, but given the, well, the court's position is if there's a request to replay a video, it needs to be done with all the formalities of the court, and so they can go ahead and request that, but we do that here, so I don't send them out.
Your Honor, do you have the verdict forms? I don't know if I've
And I do have, if I could have y'all take a look at the verdict forms to see if there's any objections to the verdict forms. I also have a copy of the charge that I will give to the clerk as courts 5, I think we're on, which will be courts 5. That will go out to the panel. Go ahead and take a look at that before it goes out also. So I got the verdict form and the charge.
If I could inquire before we end here.
I'm sorry?
If I could inquire before we end.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Did the court take some more time to think about whether the court would bring the jury in and ask them in front of us if anything has come up? We wanted to see that process happen.
I did. I don't think it's necessary here. Today, there's very few, if any, people out front that I'm aware of. I haven't heard of anything or any issues. Again, last night, the only reason I moved the jury is because after getting permission from counsel to go into the jury room, I had heard, probably not as I was walking in, but I heard as I was talking to the panel, something that sounded like a crowd outside, and asked the panel whether or not they heard that, and the response was they just heard that too. And I thought in an abundance of caution, not really knowing what exactly was happening outside, that I'd go ahead and move them into one of the interior courtrooms. That apparently was, there had been movement outside. There was a protest group that was walking around the courthouse. I believe what the court did yesterday was appropriate under the circumstances and actually consistent with some of the requests that have been made by counsel. I did not do it because I felt there was any safety concerns or any other problems. I simply did it in an abundance of caution. I don't want to go into where they are now, but I'm satisfied today there have been no issues whatsoever, and so no, I don't plan on going into that inquiry. But I do recall the request being made. I'm satisfied that there have not been any issues along those lines.
And I guess I would be joining in that. The record is what it is, but I don't believe the court has inquired of the jury affirmatively a single time from their impanelment to this moment. And I don't think it would be inappropriate, given all that has transpired in the public gallery and outside the courthouse in this case, for the court to inquire affirmatively at least once of this jury panel. Having said that, I'm going to sit down.
Let's go ahead and check the evidence. The proposed verdict forms should be somewhere in the well, as well as the, I'm sorry, they're right here. And let's go ahead and do that so we can get the evidence to the panel.
And Your Honor, I had, and I just want to make sure this is consistent with what everyone else in the court has as the three alternates. Currently, I'm going to use their current numbers. 14, 13, and 6.
Keep the jury information covered, but
I'm gonna have, yeah, it's mine's, I will find that. I didn't realize you were gonna bring that up right now.
Do you have the original numbers?
Next to the current number.
Yep.
Yes. You also want the
Yeah,
original numbers? Original numbers, 773, that was for 14. Correct. 364 is number 13, and 440 is number 6.
I believe that's correct.
Agreed.
Agreed.
All right. In addition, I will get with defense counsel about the method that the evidence is in right now, where it is in file folders labeled with the numbers, and we'll go through it.
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and go. I'm gonna stay on the bench until we have all these formalities addressed. So once we know we've got all the evidence together, and everybody's had an opportunity to look at the verdict forms, we'll get that addressed.